Alright, time to hit it again. The town where I'm at the moment, or where I camped last night, is called Kew, and it's actually a super chill place. I mean, this car park you're allowed to camp. There's also an information centre down the road where you can camp as well. I think it's a town, or it's surrounded by construction areas, because when I was at the, I'm going to say hotel because that feels more monetizable. When I was at the hotel last night, there were a lot of construction workers who were out hydrating. And yeah, they were all super chill. The first guy, I was literally walking past. The first guy, he goes, "Oh hey mate." I'm like, "Oh hey." He's like, "What's that on your shirt?" I looked down and he just goes, "Doop." I was like, I just didn't expect it. It's just a random ass guy. Yeah, and then he was just laughing at me. I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm an idiot. I know." And then he's like, "What do my fingers smell like? What do my fingers smell like?" But no, everyone was super chill. Fun night. Had absolutely no plan to stop here. Would stop here again if I was coming by. Just for a night or a chill or whatever. But time for the next journey. Time to head to the beach. The car is unbelievably all the way around. It's just very, very damp because all the clothes were hanging up and some of them still are. So yeah, turn the car on. Hopefully it does a good cold start. Do I have the keys? Get the keys. And then off to the next spot. About an hour and 20, I think. An hour and 20 minutes to the next spot. So yeah, see you there. Oh, also, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. The mountain, that way, the mountains that I was driving past, that's the dash cam.
Starting normal recording. An impact was detected during parking mode.
They are in the Middle Brother National Park, which I drove past because I'd never heard anything about it. Looks incredible. I will almost definitely stop there on the way back because they just look incredible. Like the sunset where I was watching, I was kind of watching to the east. The sunset in the east, right? In the west? No, that is east. That way is east, I think, because this way is south. No, that way's west. Yeah, west. Sorry, rise in the east, sets in the west. I'm so tripping. Yeah, I was watching west, but to the south is the Middle Brother National Park, and it looks just phenomenal. I don't know whether it'll look like that from the inside. I'm talking so fast. I'm so hyped up. So, yeah, I'll probably stop there on the way back. But now we're continuing our journey north, so peace. Might be the best one we've had. Incredible start. Anyway, let's go. Alright, I just arrived in Nambucca, or Nambucca. I thought it was Nambucca, but the sign, or the thing in the information said Nam Bucket List. So, I don't know, it's one of the two. Anyway, right now I'm walking along the boardwalk along the lake, which is super calm. But this heads down, I'm taking these off, this heads down towards the beach, so the beach is supposed to be super pretty as well. So we'll head down to the beach, have a look around, go for a swim, see where we go next. Just stopped and filled up the water bottles, and now we're continuing on the walk. Unrelated rant. When someone says, "How are you going?" when you walk past, do you actually answer them, or do you just say, "How are you going?" I don't know, I always answer. I'm like, "Oh yeah, good, how are you going?" But most of the time people are just like, "How are you going? How are you going?" and then they just move on. Anyway, continue on the walk. Just been walking along this road with this incredible view of the river all the way down, playing the harmonica, and the people walking past are just looking at me like, what the hell is this kid even doing? But I don't know, tell me this isn't the vibe. A bit obstructed by trees now, but it's just a lovely river that leads straight out into the ocean, just with a little bit of harmonica. simple things. That's the beach that I want to get to, right over there. But for what I can tell, it's boat access only. I'm currently at the furthest east point in Nambucca. It's definitely not the furthest east in Australia, probably not even in the top 50, but give or take 10 meters obviously. It's the furthest east point here and probably the furthest east that I've made it so far. The rocks I'm standing on right now, I imagine have been shaped by the water passing over, but it actually feels like wood to stand on, which is just so strange. When I was reading about this place, I saw someone had written that and I was like, what are they even talking about? But it literally, to walk on, it just feels like wood. So take from that what you want. Yeah, take a look at that. I've actually got the whole place to myself at the moment. Alright, we've made it back to the car and it is only 1:45, so still quite a bit of time left in the day, so I have time to actually do something else, but I'm not quite sure what. There is a nice state forest, or there is a state forest down the road from me, but the walk to the beach was 3 kilometers and the walk back was also 3 kilometers, so that's kind of decreased my appetite for a long walk this afternoon. The other choice is that we just try and find a campsite now, because I don't actually know where I'm going to be staying tonight. But what I'm going to do is eat my lunch first, see how I'm feeling, have a look at some photos of the state forest, plus I got a couple of things from the information center. So have a look at these as well. See if there's anything I want to do, and then go from there. Alright, I'm actually in Bowraville right now, because the only place that the person in the information centre told me about was a military museum that's here that they went to the other day. And I thought, well, I'm always keen for a museum and I am tired, so I don't need anything high energy. So yeah, I'm here in Bowraville, thinking about fuel, to be honest, because I only have about half a tank. No, I only have about a quarter of a tank? I don't remember. I don't have much, the point is. And it's about 3:30 here, but it's 2:97 in Coffs Harbour, which is another 100 kilometres down my route, which is, I'm just considering whether or not I'll be able to get there before I need to fill up, which I probably won't. So that's something to think about while I'm going around the museum, but probably cut that whole spiel. Maybe it made it into the video, I don't know. Let's go to the museum. I'm back. I didn't actually record anything in there because it didn't really feel appropriate, but it was just full to the brim with history, so definitely recommend going. Had, you know, World War I, World War II, but it had like Australian history, but also our allies, and also, you know, German, Italian, Japanese, and then it had the Korean War, Afghanistan, Vietnam, Papua New Guinea. Like, it was just so full. There was one room which just had the newspaper extracts with all the faces of the Australians that died in the Vietnam War, which is just, crushing, but also beautiful to see that they're remembered. So yeah, would recommend. On a lighter note, it's time to find a campsite for the night. I have no idea where I'm heading tonight. Hopefully there is something vaguely nearby. I'm just going to go have a look now. Alright, I'm going to do something a little bit crazy. I'm going to drive to a campsite which is the one that I was thinking of doing tomorrow, because for some reason I planned tomorrow but not today. And then that way, I'm close to where I want to spend the day tomorrow, so then I'm already ready to do that day straight away and I don't have an hour drive ahead of me in the morning. So yeah, an hour drive now, then we are at the spot already, and then we can explore that then, which is I think what I did for the first couple of days actually, because I was in Lura and then I explored Lura, yeah, and then I was in Blackheath and I explored Blackheath. So this makes more sense. I don't know why I haven't been doing this already, because I've had a long drive in the morning and then I'm tired when I get to the place and I'm running out of sunlight. So let's head to... Ooh, I almost said it. You'll see. Let's head there. Just arrived at the campsite. Take a look at who else is also here. Not the actual person, sorry. Good news. Clothes pretty much all dry. Just a little bit wet. Just a little bit, but mostly fine too. My idea worked. Also, take a look at this. It's just bamboo. Just bamboo. Which means that although we're not in the national park, it's already like rainforesty vibes. Or it's man-made. I don't even know. Hopefully we see some pandas. Alright, we're settled in for the night. If you look around, there's a lot less clothes hung up. There's actually quite a few over here. But I could have not told you that. I shouldn't have told you that. But that is overall, Operation Dry the Clothes is a major success. So, I don't even know. Sign me up for some science prize. Because that is big. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to play chess. But I'm not going to play Bullet because that's not going to help me learn. I'm going to play Blitz or Rapid, I don't know. I'll think about it. And then you can see the games. And I'm also going to do my Clash of Clans attacks because I need to go up a league. And then that's it. I have a weird habit of talking and then like pausing and talking, which, because I talk to myself all the time, it like doesn't really matter. But when it's on video and I watch it back, it makes me look just insane, which I am, but still. Anyway, chess time. In a bit. Ooh, I said in a bit again. I've said that too many times. Not in a bit. In right now. Alright, I actually wanted to show that I learnt an opening, because I learnt the English in like 10 minutes or something, because it seemed interesting. But I didn't get to play at this game because I was playing as black. But this game was just so terrible by both me and my opponent that I wanted to show it. So, what's the best way to do it? If I just do next and then... Yeah, the opening was normal, generic opening. Actually, wait, hold on. It's easier if I can do it and then I can see it as well. There you go. Great move, supposedly. But this is just a standard game, normal development. I was on top at this point. Phrasing. Everything's going normal. Okay, that's a miss, but I don't hate it. Yeah, I traded it and then played it the next move. So it didn't really matter, I don't think. Well, it did matter, but like at my level it doesn't matter, I guess. But then I just blunder my rook, which was like the main advantage I had. He plays this move and I just, without even thinking, I just instantly take, and it's just like, oh yeah, you just blundered your rook. And so all of a sudden the game's balanced again. Well, not balanced. I don't know what the analysis bar is. Wait, hold on, what is the analysis bar? Yeah, literally balanced. Because yeah, I just let him take the rook like an idiot. I don't know why that's great. I wasn't really paying attention, I'm not gonna lie. I was just so confused by how I managed to blunder the rook. But anyway, we kept playing. That was a mistake, apparently. Anyway, I pushed the pawn. My thought process. Hold on, go back a couple of moves. My thought process here, which is why I played this move, which was a mistake, was the only shot I have of winning this game is if I can promote a pawn. So I pushed the pawn, and then he just evidently plays a wrong move. I make a wrong move again. I don't know what. Okay, but he missed it again. Yeah, so I played a wrong move. He plays a wrong move, and then I managed to get the promotion, and then I just win from there. But I had like 6 seconds this whole time, so I was just pre-moving, and eventually found the mate, and that was the game. So yeah, you can guess my elo off that. I played a couple of games. The first one I played the English, and it was actually a good game. I was going to show that one, but I lost it because right at the very end I played a blunder, which shock. That's the theme of these games, because they're 3-minute games and I just start running out of time and then make a bad move. But this one was just so bad that I had to show it. So yeah, guess my elo at the moment and whether or not it's possible for me to get 1500. Time for the Clash of Clans attacks actually. At the moment I'm using a Root Rider Valkyrie attack, which is just really off meta. I'm assuming. I haven't played the game in ages, but it just feels weaker than it used to be. They probably finally nerfed it because it used to be absurdly overpowered. But yeah, it's still ridiculously strong anyway. Just not as ridiculously strong as it was. I've still got 3 days and 20 hours left of this week, so I'll maybe do 3 attacks now. That's 1. That's 2. That one was the brutalest time fail. That one would have been an attack of all time if it went off. I actually left the town hall behind with an overgrowth and then came back for it, which worked. I got the star for it, but I just had so much of the base left. Definitely going to have to learn some attack strategies because that was not a good day in the office. 2 fails. Anyway, that's all she wrote for tonight. So, on to the photo of the day. I said it earlier, I'll say it again now. It's one of my favourites. Enjoy. I took 128 photos today. I didn't really have anything in mind when I started the day, but that changed pretty quickly. When I was at the would-be easterly point of Nambucca, or whatever you want to call it, I was sitting on the rocks and I saw this little rock pool kind of 10 or so meters away from the edge of the sea. And it just instantly drew me in because it kind of immediately made me think, 1, did the fish that are in that rock pool ever get into the ocean? And 2, do they know? Do they know that they're not in the ocean? Do they know that the ocean is just 20 meters away? And that kind of told quite a cool story for me. So I sat there for maybe 30, 40 minutes, letting the fish get comfortable with me sitting there and taking photos and waiting. And pretty much all of the photos for today were of that rock pool. And this is the one I settled on. It gives you a nice view of the fish and then the rock pool surrounding them. And you can also just at the very edges of the photo see that it is actually a rock pool and not just some other body of water. But the funniest thing about it, to me at least, is that if I hadn't told you that it was a rock pool, you probably wouldn't notice the edges. You probably wouldn't notice what it is. You'd just see it as, you know, a normal body of water. And I guess that's what it is to the fish, or at least that's the story that I'm trying to tell. And it's kind of just, you know, we're all in our own little rock pool. We don't know about the thing that's right outside of our grasp. There's so much of the world, there's so much of life that just feels like it's right there, and yet we don't even know that it's there until, I guess, we swim in the next pool. But I guess the fish look content swimming in their own pool, and maybe you can be. I don't know, I'm not one to tell you how to live your life. I don't know what I'm doing. The thing I like most about this story, well, not that I like most, I like pretty much everything about this story. I'm literally sat here grinning about it. But it's something that I didn't plan. I didn't have any idea about what the story would be, and I saw it, and instantly I knew that's the story that I want to tell. And that's what makes it so much more powerful to me, at least. It feels like such a relevant message. So this is it. Number 10, rock pools. I think you probably could have guessed it. And even though it's not the most beautiful image, you know, there's some that have been visually striking, this is my favorite story by far. And for that reason, and pretty much that reason alone, it's going to go in number 1.